Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. Make sure you like this to get the algorithm going. Just like my videos. Just press that little like button down there. It would be greatly appreciated. All right. This one's called My Sweet Lola. Yes. Yep, Lola was my dog. I had a dog named Lola, you know. And as you know, Lola means grandma in Tagalog, you know. And in Spanish, Lola means young lady, you know, so but we used to call her grandma, so yeah. I've got Lola from a friend of mine's, and when he gave it to me, she had got stuck in her eye with a rose bush, a thorn from a rose. He said, "Oh, that probably happened." He didn't notice it. He just threw her in the car and brought her to me. But I noticed it when I picked her up. I said, "What happened to her eye? It's bleeding." And he said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "Give her back to me. I'll take her back. I'll get another one out the litter. I'll bring you another one." And I told him, I said, "No, no, I'll keep her. I want to heal her, you know." So I wanted to heal her, you know. So I took her home, and she became my buddy, you know. She became a friend of mine, you know. And she was real nice with kids and everything, but she was a loaf with strangers, okay? Because, you know, she would guard the house, you know. She would bark, you know, when somebody come around strange, you know. And I had her along with my, oh my goodness, with the late, great Chemo. Yes, I had her with Chemo because Chemo was the best dog I ever had. Okay, he was the best dog, great, best guard dog, best shuts and trained dog, and he used to bite the sleeve and everything. You know, so he was an excellent all around dog. You know, and he was a family dog. He loved the family. You know, so well. Anyway, this when Chemo got sick, he was having seizures and everything. You know, and he got diagnosed with cancer. Okay, and he had spread all over his body, you know. But I didn't know, and he didn't give me no indication that something was wrong with him. But dogs have a great threshold for pain, you know. So, you know, I didn't know, you know. So I took him to, kept taking him to the vet, take to the vet, and then they told me take him. You might as well put him to sleep, put Chemo to sleep because it's nothing we can do for him, you know. But I was getting ready to do it, and when they was getting ready to put him to sleep, I told him, no, don't do it. Don't do it. He wants to go home because he looked at me. He looked at me like, man, all this time I was there for you and I protect your house. I protected you and everything. And you're going to do me like this? So I took him home. I took him home. And he lived another 2 years after that, you know. They told me months, you know, but he lived another 2 years. And I can't say it was a great 2 years, but because at the end he kind of suffered a little bit, but then he uh he passed away. Yeah, he passed away. He passed away one day outside. You know, and when I told him to go home, I told him, I said, "Look, Chemo," I said, "Look, you can go ahead and go. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. We'll be okay here, you know. But you've done the best that you could, you know, and you fought on and trying to stay alive. So go ahead and go." And this is true too, because I told him to go ahead and go, and then he was asleep. And I went into the house for a minute. I came back out, and he was gone. You know, he was gone. So, and Lola didn't take it well. Because him and Lola, he thought Lola was his mama. Because he was a puppy when I got Lola. When I had Lola, he was a puppy, But Lola she would straighten him out when he would play around too much. She would straighten him out. She didn't play, you know. And he never fought her either. And he wouldn't let nobody else mess with her. So, well, anyway, after Chemo passed away, Lola was really sad around the house, walking back and forth and crying, making like she was crying and stuff like that. So I tried to spend as much time with her as possible. Tried to walk her, take her for long walks and everything like that. But it's every time I would let her out in the backyard, she would be running around backyard looking for something that wasn't there. You know, she would run around looking. You know, so so after a couple of weeks later, I went to the backyard where I let Lola out, and I looked in the backyard. She wasn't there, and I kept saying, "Hey, where's Lola? Where's Lola?" So I couldn't find her, and I searched the neighborhood, searched the whole neighborhood, searched all around the neighborhood, and I couldn't find her. And I figured somebody must have taken her because she's a full-blooded Boston Terrier. And man, that hurt me too. First Chemo was gone, then Lola was gone. So I just shrugged it off and continued living life. So after that, my car broke down. Okay. So I was working on my car in the driveway, and then I noticed that I needed a part. So I called to AutoZone and they had it. But AutoZone was a couple of blocks away. So I figured I'd strike out and walk to AutoZone to get the part. So I was walking, walking, walking. And then I came across this neighborhood. It was a real nice neighborhood. And I could walk through that neighborhood and go straight to AutoZone, on Poplar. So I started walking, walking. Then I saw a Boston Terrier that looked like Lola. And so I walked up, and this old lady had her. And I said, just out of the blue, I just said, "Lola, come here, mama." And she started coming to me. She was trying to jump out of her arm. And I said, "Oh my goodness, that is Lola." So I I walked up to her and I bent down and I pet her. I started petting her. And the lady said, "Oh, she knows you." It was an old white lady. She was elderly. So she had to be like 70 years old. She said. So I said, "Yeah, this is my dog." I said, "She ran away like at least 2 years ago, you know, 2 years ago." And she said, "Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I tell you what, I'll give her back to you. You can take her back." And I was happy, but then the old lady, a tear came down her eye, came down her eye. And she said, "Well, Bruce is going to really miss her. He's going to really miss her." And I said, "Who is Bruce?" And she opened a door, and then this a ball. She had a Scottish Terrier, you know, and he was fat and old. Scottish Terrier. He came out like walking out. She said, "Yes, this is Bruce. This is Bruce." And I said, "Hey, Bruce," and he was friendly too. And Lola liked him. So when the lady said, "Hold on a second, I'll get her leash and everything for you." So the lady went in the house, and I was in the yard with both the dogs, and Then she came back with the leash and everything like that. And I said, hold on, ma'am. She said, yes. I said, look, you can go on and keep her. She looks happy here, you know. She looks happy. She's with your dog. She's been around your dog for a couple of years, so you can go on here and keep her. And that old lady said she welled up with tears in her eyes and told me, she said, "Oh, really, really? No, no, she's your dog though. Take her." I said, "No, no, go ahead. You can keep her. You know, it's been 2 years, so I haven't seen her. So, but it was good that I saw her again. She said, "You can come here and visit her anytime you want." That's what she told me. She said I can come and visit her anytime I want. But I said, okay, okay, yep. But I didn't want to come around. I didn't want her to start missing me, kept and be wanting to come home with me, you know. So I knew I wasn't ever coming back, you know. But I pet Lola and I pet Bruce too, you know. Yep. But Lola was a great dog, you know. She protect my house, man. And any small varmints that come around, Lola would get them, you know. Would get them, you know. So I don't know, man. But I miss her though, and I miss Chemo too. Chemo was a great dog, you know. Both of those dogs, no other dog that I ever had could ever measure up to them. Okay, no dog could. That's why I don't have no more dogs now. You know, no dog could measure up to him, and no matter what type of dog it was, it never could measure up to him. You know, so R.I.P. Chemo, and Lola should be gone now by now. So R.I.P. to you, Lola. There's no way she could live this long because this was like in 2007 or 8, you know. So there's no way she could live this long. But okay. All right, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share them with your friends. Share them with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Adios. Salamat.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Salamat.